This is Tailgate Talk, presented by Tarpon Blue.
Let's take a ride. In this series, we're going to show you everything Texas and its surrounding southern states has to offer, right here from our very own tailgate.
We'll take you from life on the farm and the ranch to the big city lights. This is Tailgate Talk. Come along for the ride. Hi, I'm Katie Abermine. Welcome to this week's episode of Tailgate Talk. We're just outside of New Braunfels, Texas at the Allen Farmhouse Wedding Event Venue. Today we're going to talk to y'all a little bit about all things wedding. We're going to meet with the wedding coordinator as well as the very owners of the Allen Farmhouse. So come on inside with me while we go meet Blaize. Okay, so we are here with Blaize Lynch, the owner of Borrowed in Blue Events, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her career as a event planner, wedding planner, and how she got into that business and a little bit about the industry. Maybe you'll get some tips and tricks.
Yes, well, thank you so much for having me. So it's crazy how Borrowed in Blue started. I was originally going to Texas State to become an elementary education teacher. And one day in class, one of my sorority sisters texted me saying, hey, there's a lady who I'm dating for who is looking for an assistant for weddings, and I think you would be great at it. And I was like, okay, I'll interview. Let's do it. So I went to the interview, got the job, and I worked for her for about 2.5, 3 years. And then I got married, and my husband was like, you've got to do this. Like, you've got to keep doing this. It's your passion. You love it. So that's kind of how Borrowed in Blue started. So now I've had Borrowed in Blue for about 4 years, and it's been a dream come true. I'm able to provide couples with the best day of their lives and, create a stress-free environment for everyone involved. So, yeah.
So you do like whole event planning from start to finish, but do you also do like day of coordination, stuff like that?
I do. So I do everything from, I don't offer just a day of package just because I would hate to show up on the day of someone's wedding and be like, hey, what's happening? What are we going to do today? So my final details package starts about 6 weeks before their wedding date. But I do everything from final details to full service. If people are needing help with the whole thing, I do help with that as well. I'm kind of their right-hand person. I'm booking everything for them. And then I have packages in between, if they're not needing help necessarily with the whole event, but needing help with design, as well as those final details. I help with that as well.
And I know we have a lot of great pictures from some beautiful weddings that you've helped produce, especially here at the Allen Farmhouse. Can you tell us a couple reasons why you like working here a lot?
Yeah. So actually, I mentioned I got married 4 years ago, and that's how I started Borrowed in Blue. We actually had our reception here. So it holds a really special place in my heart. I love working here just because, first off, Cassie and Maitland, the owners, are absolutely amazing. They are so fun. They really make the venue.
Yes.
And so every time I'm here, I just feel like I'm at home. And the couples that I get here, it's, when you have an Allen Farmhouse wedding, you're going to have a wonderful event. You're going to have so much fun, and you're not going to feel like you're at work. And so that's really why I love working here with the girls.
It's a great time. It seems like it. Yes. You can tell in all the pictures that they have, that it's been a great time. And I've been looking through the book with Cassie before, and she said, "Oh, that was a Blaize wedding," or "That was a Blaize wedding," and they're all beautiful. You do a great job.
Thank you.
What are some of your favorite trends that you're seeing in the wedding industry this year?
Yeah. So last year we saw a lot of black and white. This year, the events that I'm planning that I'm helping with full service, I'm seeing a lot of color, which I love. It's a great transition from last year. Love the black and white, still think it's awesome and so fun to plan, but I do love seeing all of the color. And just This year, I feel like a lot of my couples are going kind of off the road of, a traditional
Yeah.
event. They're really making it about them and unique to them. So I think those are the two main things that I'm seeing this year that I'm really loving.
Oh, that's really great. I'm going to ask you another question about event planning or picking a wedding planner, I guess, is where I'm going with this. What do you think couples should look for when they're trying to pick a wedding planner?
Yeah, I think finding someone who you can really click with and connect with for your big day is super important. I think that's the first thing you want to look for when searching for a wedding planner, just because that person is going to be with you throughout the whole day of your wedding, as well as before, the process leading up to it. And you want to find someone who you can trust. I know budget is a very important thing when planning a wedding. So you want to find someone in your budget, but you don't want to find someone who is the most cost effective that may just be doing it to get another wedding off their checklist. You want to find someone who really cares about you, who takes the time to talk with you through things, communicates with you throughout the whole entire process. I believe that is super important when finding a planner for your big day.
That makes a lot of sense. You want somebody who's going to be able to see what you want and do what you want. I think that's a great point. So, Blaize, what does it look like if somebody comes to you to hire you for a wedding? What is the process for that from start to finish?
Yeah, so it all depends on the package they choose with me. So if they are just booking me final details, they can book me a year out for that final details package, but that package starts right away. So I pride myself on really being communicative with my couples. So right when they book me, they have access to unlimited phone and email contact. So any questions that may arise when going through the planning process, I'm all ears and I'm available at all times to help them. Just because wedding planning can be so stressful.
It can be very overwhelming.
Yes.
I've never planned a wedding, but it can be very overwhelming. I've had a lot of friends that have weddings.
Yeah. So I just want to be there to help them throughout the whole entire process, even if it's the final details package.
Right.
I don't want to be like, oh, sorry, you only booked me for final details. So I really pride myself on really being communicative with my couples about that. And so they have access to that. They also have access to my preferred vendor list. This is just a group of people who I've worked with in my past few years of planning, who I really trust and know that they can trust on their big day. Going back to wedding planning can be so stressful. In New Braunfels and the surrounding areas, there's so many awesome vendors to choose from. And unfortunately, there's a lot of not so awesome vendors to choose from. So I really want to help them through that process. In no way is this a required list that I have. So if they book me, they don't have to use those vendors. Right. It's just a great recommendation to help ease their stress when planning a wedding.
Well, I could imagine that'd be very stressful to book somebody for florals or for a DJ or for food even, and you're expecting them to show up and then they just don't.
Correct.
That would be terrifying. Correct. So I'm sure that you know that those people that you have would be reliable and they would show up, and you've established that trust with them.
Exactly.
That's a great tool for your clients.
Thank you. Yeah. And then, just depending on the package, if they're full service, we hit the ground running right away. We go through budget management. We go through, hey, how many guests are you going to have at your wedding? Based off of your budget and your guest count, this is kind of what we want to allocate per vendor. And from there, I reach out to vendors within their budget, and we start setting up meetings and start the planning process. And then at this meeting, we also discuss design. What do they want their big day to look like? Down to what color do you want your linens to be? We don't want any detail to go unnoticed. And so it's a great process. It's a long process, but we want to make sure that every detail is taken care of, so that way on their wedding day, they're not having to worry about a single thing.
That's great. I think that you're a great asset to your clients. I can imagine that you've helped a lot of brides avoid a lot of stress in their life. Blaize, why don't you tell us, what is your favorite part of a wedding day? I know you get to see so many.
Yes, that's a hard one. I think mainly my top favorite thing about a wedding day is the ceremony. You know, people plan and plan and plan for this big day, and the most important part of their day is the ceremony. So I really think that's my favorite part, just seeing all of it come together. And at the ceremony, you can almost see the bride and groom shoulders just drop. They're like, okay, we're married.
It's done.
It's done. And now we can party. And the ceremony is such a special, it's just a special part. It is the reason that we're all here.
Right.
And so I think this ceremony just holds a really special place in my heart. Being able to watch that. I swear every ceremony, I'm like, I'm not going to cry. And then I cry. I'm like,
Shed those tears.
oh. It's just so sweet and so special and such a blessing to be able to watch people's matrimony every
Yes.
single weekend.
I think that would be my favorite part too.
Yes.
Well, I think it's also important to point out that you don't work exclusively with the Allen Farmhouse. While you do love doing weddings here, you also will work in any other venue in the area, correct?
Absolutely. I do a lot of my weddings, I'd say 90% of my weddings are in the New Braunfels area. However, I've done weddings in East Texas. Fredericksburg is becoming a really popular place for me to plan weddings. But yeah, I do not just strictly do one venue. I love being able to branch out and see new venues and be able to see Texas and what it has to offer.
Yes, ma'am. Well, why don't you tell all of our viewers where they can find you on social media or the internet?
Yes, so I have Facebook as well as Instagram and a website, of course. My Facebook is Borrowed and Blue Events TX. My Instagram is Borrowed and Blue TX. And then my website is borrowedandbluetx.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this week's episode of Tailgate Talk. And we'll see you guys next time on Tailgate Talk.
Thanks for tuning in today, and thank you to our guests for sharing their story.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you next time on Tailgate Talk.
We'll tell you things you might not know. Just stay a while, we'll make you feel